Most men think they need more time to figure things out. But that right there is exactly why you're still stuck. Because you've been waiting to feel clear before you move. Telling yourself you just need a little more time, a better plan, or one more moment where everything finally clicks. But that's not how clarity works. Clarity doesn't come before action, it comes from it. I'm Coach Boomer, and I help men go from stuck to unstoppable, and I've been here too. I'm not guessing, not theorizing. I've lived this. And actually, one of the clearest things I've done recently was setting a goal to row 1,000,000 meters this year on a Concept 2 rower. Now, I didn't have everything mapped out ahead of time. I didn't sit there and try to build the perfect system. I just made a decision. Get on the rower. That's it. And from there, I stepped into the identity of someone who does that consistently. And once I did that, something shifted. There wasn't much friction anymore. I simply showed up. I did the work. I tracked it on my notes app. I talked to my friends. And because I was in motion, everything started to feel simpler. Now compare that to when you're unclear. Because when you're unclear, you don't do the thing that actually matters. You do everything around the thing. You stay busy, you stay productive, and you check all the boxes. But deep down, you know you're avoiding something. And at the end of the day, when things finally get quiet, you lay your pretty head down on the pillow and think, I really didn't move anything forward today. That's what lack of clarity actually feels like. It's not confusion. It's not avoidance. And this is where most of us get it wrong. You keep telling yourself, I just need to have it all figured out first. But how long have you been doing that already? Has it been weeks? Months? Years? At some point, you have to move. Because the truth is, you don't get clarity by sitting back and thinking harder about your life. You get clarity when you start engaging with it. And I know this sounds simple, maybe even too simple, but think about it. Every time you've made real progress, it didn't come from overanalyzing every single detail beforehand. It came from doing something, taking a step, testing it, and figuring things out as you went. That's where things began to click. It's in the first workout when you didn't feel ready, the first message you almost didn't send, the first conversation you kept putting off. Because once you take that step, your brain starts to organize around action. You begin to see what works, what doesn't, and what needs to change. And that process only happens when you're actually moving. That's how you're wired. But it only works when you're in motion. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, thinking does matter. You want direction, and you want to move towards something that actually matters to you. But if you stay in your head too long, that's when you get stuck. Paralysis by analysis is real. I've experienced it. I see it all the time. Men consuming more content, more podcasts, more opinions, trying to find that perfect path when the next step is usually right in front of them. They're just avoiding it. So instead of overcomplicating this, do something simple. Give yourself a time limit. Take a little time to think it through, just enough to identify your next move, and then act on it before your brain has a chance to pull you back into overthinking. Because clarity isn't about your whole life. It's about what matters right now. And when a man tells me he doesn't know what he wants, I don't hand him some complex blueprint. I ask him something simple. What's the next move that you can make with the least friction? And start there. Once you take a step in that direction, things begin to open up. And that is how momentum works. You don't need full clarity. You need enough clarity to take the next step and trust that more will reveal itself once you do. So here's what I want you to do. Pick up one area of your life where you've been trying to figure it out and be honest with yourself. What's the real step you've been avoiding? I'm not looking for the perfect plan. I'm looking for the step. And go out and do it today. Open the document. Send the message. Start the process. Because once you move, clarity follows. And in the next video, we're going to build on this. Because once you have direction, the real question becomes, can you actually follow through? And that is where discipline comes in.